Well, she didn't plan on me sitting down, so she's gonna have to shoot from on high, because she's not very tall. She's got it, luckily everybody's sitting down here. One thing I wanted to tell you is we're happy you're here. Some of you have been with co-op for a long time. Some of you have a long time in comparison to some of the people that you're here with. Give me a show of hands of the people that have been hired. How many of you talked to Randall and I in the interview? Okay, so how many total do we have today?
16.
16, and so probably, Kayla? Jim, did you raise your hand?
No.
Okay, that's what I thought. Who else didn't raise their hand? Sheriff, okay? Okay, so we've got 12 out of 14, or, yeah, 12 out of 14 we were in on the interview. Abby, why do you reckon that is?
Because you're interested in all aspects of the company, make sure all your employees are who and what you want to be a part of your company.
There you go. And of course, it's not my company, it's our company.
Our
But
company,
I
yes.
but I know that your point's well taken, and the reason I bring it up is because it's important for all of you to understand that, is that, you know, South Plains is about, it's about the people that we serve, but it's also about the people that work here that serve our members. And so it's important to us to make sure that everybody is on the same page as far as what we're trying to get across to our members. The big thing for us, you know, whether you've been here 2 weeks or 2 years, is that you understand why we're doing this and most of what we're doing. You know, we spend money in the community as far as donations. We spend money in the community as far as giving back, you know, different charities. If someone calls and asks us to give money to a golf tournament, we're in. We've given money to graduation parties. We've given money to FFA. We give money to, Lynn, help me out. What are some other things we give money to?
Oh, Little Leagues, we help out with, you know, other nonprofits doing events, you know, whether it's Cystic Fibrosis, Boys and Girls Club, Boys Ranch, Relay for Life. We don't, you know, do big sponsorships anywhere, but we make sure that we're at least getting our name out there with a $500, $1,000 sponsorship, and it goes a long way.
Daniel, what do you reckon the point of that is?
Kim, just community involvement.
Do you see that as a positive or a negative, or tell me what's your thoughts on that?
I would think it's very positive just because, you know, I grew up there at Sparrow, very rural, and being very rural, there's going to be a large portion of Dickens County are members, and they want to see, since they're members, they want it to be involved.
Right, see us there, yeah. One of the things that we're here to do mostly is to answer your questions. So, you know, as much as I want to greet you, you guys know that I want you here. You guys know that I think this is important. Randall, Tawny, Lynn, and I, we wouldn't be spending time at it if we didn't think there was some value at it. So, you know, the main thing that we're here for, more than anything else, you know, whether you're like Jason and Kayla, probably, I guess you guys are probably the old timers. Is that right in the room, Kayla?
And Cameron is.
Cameron doesn't count. He was part-time slime before he became
Part-time
full-time.
Kayla earned
That's
her
right.
creds that way too,
Yeah,
you know.
y'all were probably about neck and neck. How long, when you're, 7 years?
I
That's
think
same
that's-
for you, Kayla.
No, this is, well, I worked part-time in high school too, so.
Oh, okay.
I've been part of it forever.
You've been on the chain gang for a long time.
Mhm.
Well, and our deal is that, you know, we want you to feel part of what we're doing. Clearly you do, or you wouldn't have stayed this long. But more than that, we want to make sure that, you know, you're comfortable with the people that are meeting with the board, you know, whether it's Jeff or John or whoever's at your office. You know, the important thing is that you feel comfortable that they're gonna tell you what's going on, but that also that you've got the ability to go, you know, whether it's John or Randall or Tawny or Lynn or Whitney or me or whoever you wanna talk to. You know, for that matter, if you're on a first name basis with one of our directors, they have a pretty good idea what we're doing as far as doing employee orientation. And, you know, we don't have much to hide as far as what our company's trying to do and what we're trying to do in meeting our members' needs. And so, you know, in the future, Cassie, what, you got an iPhone? No? What kind of phone do you have?
Galaxy S5.
Okay. Are you happy with it?
Yes, sir.
How's the memory?
How's the memory?
Uh-huh.
It's good.
You can put all your junk on there and you can find it and you can get to it, and the whole deal. How about the battery?
It's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
You know, in the world of electricity, Stephen, what would be your biggest concern? What do you see as our biggest threat?
Our biggest threat, as far as the members,
As far as, what would be the worst thing to happen to an electric company?
say for it to fail, for it to lose its values and not please the members and to just fail as a company.
Well, and the reason I ask you that is because, getting back to Cassie's deal, what was it that you weren't all that happy with?
The battery.
The battery. Why would that be important to an electric company?
Is he the one who uses it up?
Well, more than that, if they ever get good at making batteries, that could be a threat to our company. Now, does that make sense? You know, while you're not worried about batteries, and you know, I think that eventually there'll be a drastic breakthrough in batteries. My expectation is it's probably far down the road. But I mean, that's the kind of thing that, you know, before you came in this morning, would anybody have guessed that, hey, that goofy guy that keeps writing us those letters in the employee, what do we call it?
Newsletter?
The newsletter, employee newsletter. That guy that keeps writing all that stuff, he the first thing that he brings up is about batteries. But I mean, that's a threat that, you know, we might not see coming. And you know, while we're not worried about it, it's probably something that we should at least, you know, consider. The reason I bring it up is because those are the type of questions that I want you to ask. If there's something that you haven't found out in your time. Kayla, are you comfortable with everything that we're doing? Do you think there's anything that you don't know?
I'm sure there is.
And that's why you're here.
Yep.
But, you know, there's, Cameron, you comfortable? You've been here 7 years, for God's sake. You should know everything.
No, there's no way.
No way. All we're after is for you to be comfortable in the organization, for you to be comfortable enough to pick up the phone, and ideally you'll dial. What's your number, Brandon? 7739?
7719.
7719. But you're welcome to dial 7740, 7747, 7731.
7826.
Yeah,
Way off.
I was within 150 of it, and I have no idea what Whitney's
I don't either.
number, sorry. You know, my point is that, you know, at some point, somebody's gonna ask you a question, you know, whether it's on the phone, whether it's a coworker, whether it's in the field, and you know, ideally, if you don't have the answer, what you wanna tell them is, you know what, I don't know the answer, but I'm comfortable enough to go pick up the phone and ask somebody, and I'll call you back. And that's all this is about, is to make sure that you're comfortable with what we're doing, with what our vision is. That's why we do all-employee meetings, that's why we do safety meetings, that's why we bombard you with all the information that we bombard you with, is to make sure that you're comfortable with what we're doing. So, at any point in the day, if you have a question about something, and you know, if it's not something that Lynn or Whitney can answer, then probably Randall's your man. But if he can't answer it, then I can probably help out too. But one way or the other, we'll try to get you an answer before you leave. Next week, after you think of all the questions that you want to ask, pick up the phone and ask us. if you wanna call, start out with Jeff or John to begin with, I'd be happy for you to call them and include them in that. But, again, our deal is that what we're here for is to make sure that you understand that we're all the same, we're all, trying to row the boat in the same direction, and so that's what we're after. What I leave out right now?
That's about it. Just add, best option to catch us is cell phone only. The numbers are posted. Y'all feel comfortable, call those anytime day or night, we answer them, and sometimes you may get home at 7 o'clock at night and think, hey, I got a question, that you think of at that time. Pick up the phone, call them, we'll help you out answer it. It's not a big deal. South Plains pays for our phones, and they'll fully expect us to answer them anytime they ring, so that's what we'll do.
Unless you drop them in the toilet.
Yeah.
You drop them in the toilet, they will not work for a while. Apparently.
Apparently.
One other thing that I would tell you is, Ben, how many local friends you got there? Besides the people that work at the co-op?
Not very many, 3 or 4.
Is it getting better?
It's getting better, but my friends are kind of graduating and moving away, so.
So you're still having to start over.
All the guys in the co-op, I hang out with.
Yeah. What I'm after is that whether you're going to church, whether you're going to a lodge, whether whatever you spend your free time doing, whether you're flying airplanes or whatever it is you're doing, you're gonna have people that you meet day in, day out. Ultimately, what you want is for them to be able to point to Jason and say, he works for South Plains Electric. That's the guy that I know at South Plains Electric. And a month from now, 6 months from now, somebody that knows Jason's gonna call him and say, hey, what do I need to do to get this fixed? And ideally, what the new employee orientation is about is being able to give Jason enough information that if he can't answer the question himself, he knows where to go to get the answer. So that's why you're here. So if anybody has anything that comes up during the day, please ask. We're happy. I can't talk this morning. We're happy that you took the time to be here. Sorry that we're doing it during spring break. Sometimes we don't do as good a job of paying attention to the kid thing as we should, and I apologize for that. That's if you want somebody to blame me. I'm the one that was responsible for that is hard for me to get out, those 3 words, new employee orientation. Or in Kayla and Cameron's case, really old new employee orientation. So, unless y'all got anything else, I guess I'm done. You good?